Hey Sheeples, this is Z.
Hello, Sheeples, and this is thousand minus seven slash slacker at this point because naming myself slacker,
Uh,
Slackoth, the Pokemon
whoa,
Slackoth.
whoa, whoa, slack on. Slacking. Is there a slacking as well?
There is a slacking. There's
Nice.
Slackoth, Vigoroth, and then slacking. So it's a third evolution from Slackoth,
Viksit
basically.
scenes, bro.
Final.
Vikasiting. No,
Because
but this is an episode more like why we're not going to be slackhots anymore, and we have
yeah.
we wanted to talk to the Sheeples about how while 2020 was the year we started and we experimented and we sort of sort of had an erratic schedule. We intend for 2021 to be something that is more streamlined. What do you think, Mr. Slackot?
yeah. One, we wanted to talk about this for sure. Like in the past 2 months, we've had a bit of a dry spell,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
we also wanted to talk about kind of like just looking back at 2020 and how what it's been like. And to be honest, for a year that has been such a roller coaster for everybody, I'm quite sure like
Mm-hmm.
everybody had like a crazy year in general,
Yeah.
with the whole world collectively facing something really fucked
Yep.
in a
Yep.
way.
I know, right?
We also wanted to talk a lot about like how like there have been these small positives and small victories that we've all had, and especially like in this time, since today we don't have anybody else to talk about it, we want to talk about our small victories. But next week we in that AMA that we are planning,
Hmm.
which we are telling you all about right now, which is like the coffee vibes that we've done before as
सीधा
well. We
डिब्सिज्म एकदम
preview. We wanted
रिव्यू
to
ब्रो.
we wanna like end this year on a positive note, like talk about the good things rather than like all the shit that has happened. So
Yeah,
even if it's just like surviving the year in general,
true.
I would say that's a big positive. So
And I have to put it out there that while we started the Sheeples as a safe space, as like a nice place, and we had a beginning with mental health, and I guess that's somewhere become a major part of who we are. And while
yeah.
it was supposed to be a community we were creating to help others out, I have to tell you that listening to our podcast, and I don't want to sound obnoxious or anything, but often when if I have dishes duty and I'm washing utensils or just drying clothes or just cooking, just listening to our episodes feels nice. And I want to be objective, because it doesn't even sound like the both of us. It just sounds like, when we talk in a pod, it's like it's
Let
literally what we write in the blogs, right? It's like hanging out
yeah.
with friends at like a late night sleepover. And I love the vibe that we create. And if you think this is the vibe that you get, please let us know, because it would be if you felt the same as we do.
We would love feedback in general,
Yeah.
like what you all have thought over the year. And I think first, let's just actually begin with the beginning of our Sheeples podcast and how, like, we've come towards this part because, of course, we're going to talk about what plans we have for 2021. But I
Mm-hmm.
think let's end with that. Let's start with, like, uh, what it was like, right? Especially, and this is what I think I would say I've written in the article for today as well, is
Hmm.
that this year, the beginning of this year, for both of us, had. Been a very questioning kind of time, right? Like
True.
it
It
was
was
more of
so much ambiguity, so much uncertainty.
yeah, like it was quite an interesting time because we both were ending our basically in our last trimester of
Our
that sounds
pregnancies.
like we are pregnant.
We
We had a trimester
were
system in
pregnant with
college,
joy,
so
bro. So much joy.
yeah, for sure. Like we had a trimester system in college, so this was like a last trimester, or for
Yeah.
people who semesters, like it was the last semester of
Also,
our
we didn't have
college.
jobs. We didn't have leads to where we were
We
going
were
to work,
searching,
and that was
but
that was.
you sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Like, what were you
No,
saying, Z?
all I'm saying is that it was especially an ambiguous and a very insecure time, because we saw most people around us get gigs, and then they
Oh
they
yeah,
they got like nice compensations and nice jobs and big fat paychecks. And like while the both
for
of
sure.
us have been right from the beginning of the course, and since a very long time, we've known that we have a niche, for Slackot it's music, for me it's perfumery. So we had this kind of laser focus, but somewhere, when you
Yeah,
sit with a group of people who don't have that laser focus, and they really For them, it's about the paycheck, and there's nothing wrong with that. You sometimes tend to feel a little off, when you see them getting it all and you don't. So, I mean, that's why it was a vague time for me, and I guess that's where me and Slackoth really bonded. And we've been a unit for a long time,
Yeah,
but it's only to the
yeah.
end where we decided that if we can make each other feel good by talking to each other, why not put it out there, just as an archive, and then maybe tomorrow, if it helps someone else who's going to go through what we did, that would be amazing.
That sentence, if you ended it like we could make each other feel good, that would have been
Eh,
had a very different connotation.
it's just, yeah, we're
That's
good
why I laughed
friends,
in the
but we're
middle.
not those kind of friends, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but the whole thing was like Z has been saying, like it was more about, so it's that environment of we were in that whole phase, and this is what MBA does to a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people, or
it's it's
rather
a
a master's
very
degree.
it's a very soul
Like,
sucking.
yeah,
Yep,
I
you
mean,
sell
I wouldn't
yourself.
say it's soul sucking.
No, I
I
mean,
wouldn't
I
say
want to just
it's
put it out there for anyone who's contemplating doing an MBA or who has already done it. A little part of you will agree with me when I say you will sell your soul, and you might begin thinking you
to
won't.
an extent, yeah.
Yeah, but if you've spent all your savings in and you're going to start depending on the income immediately after the course, you will sell your soul, and that will not be a good feeling on most days.
I think Z, you're like really at that deep end.
Yeah.
I wouldn't because I think I kind of cherish the last 2 years that I've had in this college,
But I'm talking
especially
about
like
the end of it. Like the 2 years will be amazing, but like the whole
with
placement
the
process.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like that one part is because I almost ended up,
Yeah. That
like you said, selling my soul in that sense, right? Because I was like giving up
no
what I
for
thought
those for
we
those
all
who don't know about this, Blackout, do you want to tell us that little incident again? It's such a great example of really following your instinct.
No, so the whole thing was like, and this is what I was also saying, that at the beginning of the year, since the environment is such that we are always, and this is what the colleges also like are talking about, right? Y'all are looking for placements, y'all are preparing
Yeah.
for group interviews, y'all are preparing for like personal interviews, discussions, all those kind of things. You're in that environment where your brain is like, oh yeah, no, I have to get a job,
Hmm.
and that was where we were, and we had that whole idea of, array, we have to do it, kaise bhi karna hai, kuch bhi karke we
Hmm.
need to get that job, we need to
Yep.
get like
Yeah, it was like a do or
and
die.
I think that kind of was suffocating in a way, in that sense, at the time, but like when we both were in that state, this is that was like we've been talking about basically doing a podcast for about 6 months now, I would say. Like I think the first time I brought it up with Z was a
Dude,
while
do you
before.
remember the roller coaster? We almost started a digital agency. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that would have
I
been a
think
different story. That would
that
have
would
been
have been
yep,
interesting.
that would have been another podcast altogether.
Yeah, but this whole like concept has been going on for a while for us,
Yeah,
and finally in Feb we were like, okay, you know what? If nothing else, at least let's do something and let's record.
yeah,
But after recording, we were again stuck in a place where like we didn't know what to do ahead,
yeah. We
and we
didn't
were
know how
like,
to start a podcast. I mean, we thought
yeah.
it'd be as easy as starting a YouTube page, but
And
yeah,
we would have I think given up if like it wasn't for like everything just coming to a standstill to an extent, right?
true,
If that
true.
in a sense, like as much as the lockdown was crazy and I would never wish for this to ever happen again, it
Yeah,
also did slow things down to the fact that like we got the time to think for ourselves in that
true,
sense, right? And
true.
the whole idea of just if you have to get a job or you have to do this kind of became lost in the whole idea of, okay, let's make the most out of the time we have right now.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
just really gave us perspective on how transient life is, right?
yeah.
Like you might have your whole life planned, but something like a pandemic comes in and it just completely mucks it up. And I guess that's really that's like a story to support the fact that you've got to go with what you've got, and if you think you don't have what you need, then if you can afford to take a break, pause, go somewhere, stay indoors, but don't just be obsessed with don't be addicted to the day-to-day grind, because it'll be 30 years and you'll look back and that won't be a good feeling. So take your time off if you can afford to, it really has its benefits.
I think the best part about like the whole thing was like when we first put that episode out on
Hmm.
28th March, right? It
Yeah.
was such a weirdly liberating feeling to
Yeah.
that extent of like
Do you remember
we
how we
had
described
done
it? Like, like letting go of a fart that we've been holding on for a long time. It legit felt like that.
uh, yeah, I mean that that for sure. It was flatulence.
Sheeples! Just
Cheaper.
flatulence, humor.
Yeah, but as much as that's there, it was also like one of those things where you finally did something that is actually real and into the real world. Like
True.
you, seeing yourself on platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those places
Yeah.
was like very weirdly surreal.
Yeah, and
And
I want to take a moment and thank, like, I will say a name and then you can say another person's name, but I want to thank Sandhya because, like, she's been listening to our podcast. It's her most listened to podcast for the year, and that means a lot. And we have so many other people for whom Sheeples was the most listened to
yeah, I
podcast.
mean, Varshini was listening through.
Yeah,
Shreya has been listening.
yeah.
Bhargav, Jainam, like there are so many,
We
and these are
couldn't
people
have done it at all without you guys.
who are our friends. Then there are people who we did not know who started listening,
Yeah,
especially like
Mr.
Polyhymnia.
Polyhymnia. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Right,
Mr. Mrs. I don't know the gender, sorry, whatever, but Polyhymnia.
Mister.
Yeah,
I am quite sure.
yeah, okay.
And also like aesthetically yours, the
Aesthetically yours.
guy
Yeah.
who's very young and freaking talented. The dude
Dude,
is
you make us.
talented.
तू इतना talented क्यों है बे? Like,
No,
इतना
no,
जल्दी इतना
it truly
talent.
like flattered me a lot, especially when like he messaged me one day like your work really inspires me at least, and when I looked at his work, I was like, dude, you're like
तू मत
10
बोल.
times, 100 times a
हाँ.
lot more talented than us and like, dude, that it means a lot when you say
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
for
and
sure,
it's really
man.
cool.
So I mean, it's a
um
handful of people, right? Like the good
yeah.
part is when we began, we really had accepted a ground reality that we're not going to be a viral podcast. Neither are we going to break the tabloids on the first day. We knew that it's going to be a very small journey, a very slow journey, and maybe it's even slower than we thought. But just the fact that I can count as many people as I have fingers is a good thing because these are few people that it really made a difference to. And I
Yeah.
guess in a world where everyone's consumed by quantity, I guess I'm perfectly okay with not having quantity and just having people who are engaged, who feel a sense of belonging, and really identify as the sheeples. Because like, if you remember, the core message of the sheeples is that we're one of the crowd and so is everyone else. There is no pedestal and no one gets to teach anyone anything. Everyone just learns.
The best part we can say about Sheeples for us would be, and this is one of those like things that we are really happy about, and the fact that we were able to get this kind of message out is that we all have a talent in us within ourselves that we can hone and we can work on and we can grow, and we like if we can help each other do that, like we are always there and sitting listening to you and always like there to help you out, and it's just like in any way we can grow, and because at the end of the day, like Sheeples, we want to turn that definition on its head as well.
Hmm.
Like as much as people want to call you like, oh, you're a sheeple, or you just like at the end of the day, you're everybody is human, everybody is a part of this like huge round rock that's floating around the sun,
Yep. Just
and
monkeys riding a
we
spaceship.
we all have like something that we want to aspire to or work towards, or like want to work do something in our lives, or like in general just live basic, like even living to that extent is such a difficult thing to do in these days because everything used to be so fast paced. And I think just the fact that we can even get the message out is really a small positive. Even the fact that we were able to make so many friends out of Sheeples, right? We got to know so many different opinions. We've heard so many different people talk about different things. Even Darth Mulga, like, who started
Yeah,
a new
Abhishek, we love
podcast.
you, man. Like,
Yeah,
your
dude,
content
like,
is really hard hitting. It asks the
yeah, yeah,
questions
yeah.
that need to be answered.
So it's been like such a fun journey, especially learning about not only ourselves, but like people, or rather sheeples at this point, who listen to us.
Yep.
And and yeah, like, so many things to learn, so many new things to discover. And the best part of it all was, Z was able to kind of find something that he wanted to do further on this year,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which was away from the whole idea of getting a job, which
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
originally the thing we were
And I'm
really worried about.
crossing my fingers that I get to break some good news to y'all before the year ends. But we
Oh,
shall
dude.
wait. I
Yes,
really hope
yes.
I can break some good
I
news.
can't I can't wait for you sheeples to hear about it.
Yeah,
It's a good story.
it's been the
There's a whole
highlight.
story like behind it
Oh
as
my god,
well. Oh.
insane story. It's just been this hint.
And
It's been the script of my life.
and for me as well, like, just realizing that, and the fact that I actually got landed a job in the middle of the year.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But
Like
then
validation,
I,
and then
I
you realize,
realized
yeah,
I realized what I really wanted to do in
yep, yep,
life, and giving up on that idea that I got that job, but like, I don't want it at the moment, and I
yep,
want to work towards something that I can make on my own. And rather, this is not on my own, to be honest. This is, I have my partner Z
yeah,
here with
yeah,
me,
yeah.
even though, and
Yo, yo, yo.
I'm
This
gonna
is
put you
Z.
on the spot. You can be very lazy.
Oh, I am lazy 100%. And then that's why this podcast is like, that's the reason of this episode that while 2021 is going to be a new beginning. And we have a certain
Yeah,
bunch of promises. We've had like a complete, proper adult talk about what kind of direction we're
yeah.
gonna be consistent. You're going to see a different format where we're doing shorter content as well. We're going to be having, you
We're gonna
know,
mix things up,
yeah, we're
basically.
talking about a bunch of things. We love the idea of guest sheeples, of guest contributors. We love the idea
Yeah,
of being true to mental health. So we've given ourselves targets, and I am 100% sure that 2021 takes away the lazy in me and replaces it with another kind of enthusiast. But
and another big thing that we also want to work on is like content on YouTube, dude.
true, true, true.
That's something that we've always like. It's
Yeah,
just for fun. It's not.
yeah, and
It's not like we want
I
to.
mean, we're just trying to be responsible. We
Yeah,
don't want to meet up. We don't want to, sort of screw up the whole social distancing vibe. But we're at that
yeah,
point right now where we're like, I don't know if we can wait forever. So why not just be safe and begin? So we're still deliberating on how to do that, but that's going to be starting very soon as well.
yeah. Like, we're gonna start making some IRL videos, so you'll get to see our faces. You'll get to know who we are more
I'm going to ask you a
in
very
that
baby boomer question. What's IRL, bro?
in real life.
Okay, thanks. Just acronyms explained.
I mean, you should have known IRL of all things. Like, that's, I think,
I,
very common.
so for all so I basically asked it for all the people who didn't know. I'm just doing everyone else a favor.
Ah, bull,
मुझे
bull.
पता
We
था
know that Z is a hipster. We know
मुझे
that Z is a
पता था
hipster.
bro,
It's cool.
but
Bus,
right now,
bus,
but
bus.
this feels good to put it out there. And as always, we're completely okay talking to ourselves and just Craig, who is our recording buddy. But if you like the idea of where Sheeples is
Craig
heading,
the
or
AI.
if or if Sheeples has impacted you or has left some kind of meaning in your life, do write to us, because it would mean a lot knowing that
Yeah.
that there are other people out there who resonate with this, because
Oh,
it
you
is.
know, another crazy thing, Z. Another
Yeah,
crazy thing about
yeah,
Sheeples. Uh, we got 3 applications to work like as interns under us over the past
yeah,
year.
that was so humbling. Like, that felt great. And like, I guess, like, publicly we also want to apologize to those people if they're listening. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only reason we had to turn them down is because we haven't registered ourselves as a company yet, so it would be very irresponsible to get someone on board and not give them any
Also,
kind of
also we don't really have that following or
yeah,
the numbers that you can like boast on your freaking CV that oh you're
sure,
into it with Sheeples at the moment. We'll get
yeah,
there.
we'll get there for sure.
We'll get
Like
there.
3 4 months we'll get there, bro. But tab tak to we have
Arre,
to wait.
arre. No, but I'm quite happy with like the way even if we like it's a slow journey, it's still
Yeah.
a
I mean,
journey that
I
we've
would say
begun and
this is
continue
intentional. I would say this is intentionally slow, and I guess that's always a good thing because we can
on.
advertise and we can sponsor and we can do a lot of topical content
Yeah,
just to be out there. But then that's every other brand, and we're a community, not a brand, right? We're
yeah,
different, and the difference has
dude.
to come from within.
But remember, like when we had like 2 episodes a week and we tried to be topical and all that stuff.
Oh
Like,
god, that was tough. I mean, like at some point, if we were meeting up and recording, maybe that would have still been sustainable. But I guess we
yeah,
got burnt out way too fast.
like it was maintaining that was so difficult, and we didn't like. I think we were running out of topics at that point. Like, "Arey, kya karenge? What do we do?
Very
What?
true.
How can we like record 1 hour episodes twice a week when like we don't even know if people are listening at the moment as such, and I think it was like we were wasting content in that sense as well. So we were
Good
like,
content, and it had a good shelf life. And then, like we wanted to give it the kind of focus that it deserved.
yeah,
And I
that's
think
true.
that's the strategy now. So yeah, I mean that's from us. We would love to now hear from you. We've spoken all
Yeah.
that there is to speak. We were looking forward to having another episode before the year ends. It's going to be a coffee vibe slash AMA Amma scenes.
Yep.
So
Yep. Amma.
if you boys want to Amma with us, we go Abba with you. So let us know. We chill or something. Yeah.
You're too witty in life, dude. Teach me sometime. Uh, but but honestly, like a coffee vibes for next week for sure. This is the plan. We
Yep.
wanna we because that's what it is, right? We would love to know what were your positive moments of this year. What was like it can be anything. It can be anything that you feel that just brought a smile to your face. Like it can be the just watching a series that you felt was amazing. Like that works. That's still good. That's still a positive because it made you feel something, and it's more than like we can ask for in a year that completely devastated everybody. So
True. Very true. Very
it's
true.
it's something that we really like wanted to end on a positive note with, and hopefully we can see you in a very different kind of vibe in the next year, give you that consistency, not slack off
Yep.
like the
Yep.
last 2 months. November and December, we really have been lazy, huh? It's
Yep,
been
yep,
funny enough.
and that's where we change the things in 2021. Jan is going to
Yeah.
offset all that laziness.
Oh, yeah. And we kind of are putting each other like making each other accountable to get the work done. So,
Yep,
Z, you look at me if I'm not working, and then I'll look at you
yeah. Mostly it's going
if
to
you're
be
slacking off.
slack. It's mostly it's going to be Slackers looking at me because I slack AF like so much. But things are going to change. We're going to be
I
different.
gotta say, like for the sheepers who know, getting a hold of Z is
Yeah, I'm like John Wick. I'm just like AWOL, and then suddenly I show up,
yeah.
Baba Yagaing all
No,
over the place.
but that's the fun part of it all, right? This is the whole thing is we are friends, not like
Yeah,
partners in a
yeah, exactly. I mean,
business.
it's
So
basically this is Sheeples is too.
your voice literally just cut off when you said two. It was like I almost thought you were saying two fuckers together, just talking about shit.
Yeah, yep, yep. That's
No,
the vibe, right?
yeah. Yeah, no,
Right,
but it's
Sheeples?
funny, like your voice genuinely just cut off when you were gonna say two
Really?
friends.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. No, this is just two friends talking to a third friend, and that's what the
Yeah.
Sheeples is. That's the format. You can steal it.
Yeah.
You
You're,
can steal it.
you're our friend. You're more than welcome to steal it. Just don't
Yeah.
steal Sheeples as the name
Yep.
because I like the name.
Copyright. Okay, so wait for the AMA and send us
Yeah.
loads of questions, right? I guess this is it for now. This is
Yep.
Z signing off,
And this
and
is Slack Earth signing off. Bye.
Pokemon Sheeples
Sheeples!
slacking off. Bye.
Bye.